What's up, music fans of the internet? I am Kevin.
I'm Derek.
And together we are last week's album, the only reviews with two different views. And in this episode, we're talking about the new self-titled album from Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. Will this debut leave your sheets soaked? We'll talk about that and more. But before we do, we'll start like we always do, drinking a beer. Cheers, Derek, everyone at home.
Cheers, Kevin, everyone at home.
And in case you didn't know, Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats are based in Denver, Colorado. Nathaniel himself has made a solo name for himself, making more sort of acoustic, introspective folk. Now he's got a full backing band, and together they're creating a much more soulful R&B sound. This is their debut album, and they are signed to Stax Records, who helped create the Memphis soul sound. Their house band was Booker T and the MGs. Their biggest star was Otis Redding. You might have heard a few of those. And that gives you an idea of what it sounds like. And now we'll talk more about that with what it sounds like. What do you think, Derek?
Kevin, I think Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats sounds like Sturgill, Simpson and Father John Misty huddled around a Ouija board, calling upon the spirit of Otis Redding.
Interesting. I like that mix. I think it sounds like Van Morrison and Bob Seger partying all night with Fleet Foxes, if you will.
I like that.
And with that, let's talk about key tracks. I'm going with I Need Never Get Old and S.O.B. What are you going with, Derek?
I'm going with Howling at Nothing and Wasting Time.
All right. Well, I will kick us off just because I Need Never Get Old is first on the album. The guitar, the drums, the piano, horns, and bass all build quickly within the first 20 seconds of this song. And then later it sort of chills out a little bit for the pre-chorus, and then the chorus comes really wailing in. To me, it sounds like Bob Seger and Alabama Shakes jammed together, and it makes for a really great opening to the album and to this band's sound. What about Howling at Nothing, Derek?
This one features a swaying, bright, jangly guitar riff, even bass snare drum beat, hand claps, layered backing vocals add emphasis to last lines of verses. The chorus is just bright vocal melody, layered backing vocals. Really kind of creates this classic Motown soul feel. There's a crunchy electric guitar solo, which it obviously of the era that that song is going to per se, but it adds a nice jaunt from that soul sound. So really just a lot of cool things going on here. Really dug that one.
Nice. You mentioned hand claps. S.O.B. has plenty of those as well. It's also got humming and foot stomping, this really wailing chorus with saxophone and bass, and drums. To me, it sounds like the most glorious a song about addiction could sound. The words describe sort of the throes of detox, but the melodies sound so sweet. And it's almost like the bottled up glorious aftermath, like kicking in addiction, and how great that must feel. And it's just a real barn burner of a track. So I was digging it for all those reasons. And what about Wasting Time, Derek?
This one starts off with a count off in the form of 4 bass drum hits, which to me struck me as an audible tongue-in-cheek joke on the title. I mean, who really keeps a count off in the actual track? But that quickly gives way to descending guitar, emotive steel pedal guitar, and piano riffs. Really created a strong country sound, which kind of led me to my Sturgill Simpson reference earlier. The bridge features this really cool call and response interchange as the melody bounces between the band's instruments and the layered group vocals. So the call and response was between two completely different musical places. It was great. Reflective lyrics, I think, focus on the importance of the path rather than simply the destination. One cool line, I got a feeling I can't get over. Maybe all we had has always been right. Think of all the love you gained when you sent it over. Think of all the wool I've spun to be here tonight. Putting in work and then, reaping the benefits later on. So wasting time, don't waste time on this one. This one's great.
Well, you waste time on this one. And
a lot. And probably more to come.
And with that, let's talk about some best lyrics. Derek, start us off.
I'm going with one from S.O.B, which I think really goes back to the theme you were mentioning earlier about the kicking addiction and the great feeling that must be. And he says, son of a bitch, if I can't get clean, I'm going to drink my life away. So kind of building this all or none, which really kind of fits the barn burner musically that track is.
Yeah, nice. I'm going to go with one from Howling at Nothing, one of your key tracks, Derek. I don't think he gets super clever a lot of times with lines. They're more sort of emotional. It's much more about the delivery and the sound than the words themselves. But I like this one in particular. He says, we were howling at the moon, we were shaking our hips, danced until we flat out, falling into bed, but I won't let you go. This is definitely a dancing album overall, I think. But it's one about dancing with someone you care about, not just on your own. And with that, let's talk about overall rating and the big question, will it leave your sheets soaked? Derek, what do you think?
Kevin, I'm going to start off by answering the questions. Will this leave your sheets soaked? Yes. And for some reason, you wake up a little more well-rested than usual. Good things, definitely a dancing album. It's got fast, slow, and everywhere, somewhere's in between. Really like the full band. I didn't think this added only instrumentally, but also the layered backing vocals that they provided. Lastly, this is so good, your mom might even like it. The only bad thing I could think of is this is so good, your mom might even like it. So I'm giving this a 5 out of 5.
Awesome. I like how that's a pro and a con. I will mostly agree with you, Derek. I think this will definitely leave your sheets soaked. It's a very gritty album that will make you sweat in all the right ways, whether you're detoxing or just cooling off. On the pro side, I think they bring in the best elements of classic soul and R&B and even gospel. I think it's really catchy without being overthought or overproduced. It's a great mix of smooth and raw. And I kind of feel like it is a concept album. If you sort of look at the themes from start to finish, it sounds like someone who's struggling with addiction and then kicks it and then is recovering, all with the help of someone very close to them. At least that's how I took it. On the con side, I feel like they could have taken a few more chances. There's nothing incredibly new about the sound or lyrics. But I did like when the one element that I thought stood out as a little bit new was the sort of vocal and volume dynamics, and that's where I hear a little bit of Fleet Foxes in there. So overall, giving it a 4 out of 5. Add that to Derek's 5 out of 5. That's a 9 out of 10. So definitely check out Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweat's new self-titled debut album. Let us know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe to us here at Last Week's Album. Shout out to the podcast. And remember, we're the only reviews with 2 different views. So until next time, I'm Kevin.
I'm Derek. Cheers, guys.